I was a full-time trader with FTMO for an entire 2 years without earning a single dollar outside from trading. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I accomplished that and some very important mindset shifts that were required for me to be successful. On top of that, at the end of the video, I'm going to share some insider secrets and data on Lark Funding regarding how many traders actually pass their challenge and how many traders actually receive a payout. 99% of traders fail because of inaccurate and poor expectations. For 4 to 5 years, I was trying to become a profitable trader, and I spent over $10,000, thousands and thousands of dollars on courses and programs, thinking that there was always a secret just around the corner. But in hindsight, if I had actually had the proper mindset and the proper expectations when I first embarked on my trading journey, I think I not only could have saved tens of thousands of dollars, I actually would have become profitable much faster. At the time when I first started, I was constantly following and watching different trading influencers that were showing off their Lambos, that were going to fancy dinners, that were eating things that I didn't even know what they were. And so I always thought that I was just a few trades away, a few full margin trades away from making it big, from securing the Lambo and making a ton of money. But it's this mindset and this expectation that led to me, of course, we've all been there, making terrible trading decisions. What I really should have asked myself when I first started was, am I willing to do this for 10 years without making a single dollar? And I'm pretty confident that the answer would have been yes, because I was so obsessed with trading. But if you want better answers, just ask better questions, or better results, ask better questions. And so I think that this question, if I had posed it to myself, would have made a tremendous difference, because I would have been playing the long game rather than just trying to have that instant dopamine hit of having that one trade that would make me a ton of money. And as a result, I would just make better trading decisions. It's these poor expectations that lead to poor decisions, that lead to very few traders actually passing a prop firm challenge. But these poor expectations are even more exacerbated if you get to a funded account. When I received my first FTMO payout, it was for $6,500. That's in US dollars. I'm in Canada, and so it was like $9,000. I was just over 20 years old at the time. It was a life-changing amount of money. And as soon as the money hit my bank account, I started car shopping. I started looking at the AP watches for like $20,000, $30,000. It was a complete waste of time. And it was also totally inaccurate because, of course, my expectations were still out of line. And it's these expectations of thinking that after your first payout, even before your first payout, that the money is just going to start magically rolling in, that funded account is essentially you winning the lottery. It leads to so many poor decisions that actually lead to traders, including myself, backtracking months or even years. The good news is, even though trading is so difficult and unpredictable, having realistic expectations by managing what it is that you think you can actually do with your funded account or in trading as a whole, you're going to be able to make better trading decisions. And at the end of the day, there's so many things outside of our control, but if you can control and manage those expectations that result in those better decisions being taken, you're going to become a better trader. That is exactly what happened for me when I started to have better goals and better expectations. Okay, 95% of all trading content online is about how to pass a prop firm challenge. There is nothing wrong with this, because if you want to make money in trading nowadays, you need to become a funded trader. You need to pass a prop firm challenge, and that is no easy task. But that means that there is more to the pie and the puzzle than we think. The truth is, trading a prop firm challenge, trading a funded account are two very different things, and they require two very different skill sets. Now, of course, this was even more true when there were time limits when you had to make 10% in 30 days, and then you no longer had a time limit on your funded account. Fortunately, the industry has changed, but this still applies. At Lark Funding, unfortunately, we see a lot of funded traders blow their funded account within a 2-week period from receiving it. And when we look into the data, we've noticed that really it's because they're trading their funded account the exact same way that they're trading their challenge account. Now, in some ways, this is good. You want to be trading the same pairs, the same strategy. You want to continue doing what it is that made you successful, that helped you get that funded account. But the secret ingredient lies in the risk management. We had a trader just a couple of weeks ago, after receiving his $25,000 funded account, made 20% in a single day. It was just phenomenal trading. We were watching them very closely. They were taking tons of trades on gold. 20% is phenomenal, but of course, in one day, that's not going to be sustainable. And the second day, after receiving that funded account, they blew it. They lost all of their profits, the thousands of dollars that they had generated, and it's simply because they weren't risk managed. They clearly knew what they were doing, but they just didn't manage their risk. When I became a funded trader, I really started to ask myself, where did the golden standard of 1% risk actually come into play? And after I put my trading statistics, my win rate, my average risk reward into an equity simulator, I was able to see what kind of odds I was dealing with. What were the chances of me having a 10 trade losing streak? Because it was very statistically low, but it was possible. And so I quickly came to realize that on a funded account, risking 1% for most traders is just too much. I knew for myself it was too much. So as soon as I received that funded account, I reduced my risk to half. I started risking only 0.5%. And as some of you know that have been watching since the Meet Matt L channel, I even reduced my risk often to 0.25%. Because if you want to make a ton of money in the game, in this game, it often comes down to just securing more capital rather than risking too much. Okay, the third thing that I realized and learned is that the market doesn't care what you think. We recently put a poll up online asking traders what do they think is a realistic monthly percentage return that they can generate in the markets. And 45% of traders said that making 5% a month through trading was realistic. And it's not unrealistic. I think 5% is not a bad goal. However, over 20% of traders said that making over 10% a month was realistic. This is more than the largest banks and hedge funds and institutions make in the world, and they think that you can do it over and over again. And unfortunately, it's fine to think that, but the numbers don't lie. At Lark Funding, we have never, ever, since launching the company in June of 2022, seen a trader make over 10% a month on a consistent basis without blowing their account. 10% months do happen, don't get me wrong, but to do it on a consistent basis simply is not realistic unless you are willing to risk a ton, and therefore blowing your account is going to be inevitable. And so when I became a funded trader, I quickly dove down the rabbit hole of trying to approach trading in the most stoic way as possible. Like I mentioned previously, there are so many things in trading that are outside of our control. The market doesn't care what we think. We can't control whether it goes up or down tomorrow, whether we have a bunch of setups that present themselves. What is within our control is a bunch of things. Really, we need to focus our goals and our approach on these criteria. So for example, you can control how many pairs you trade. You can control how much work you put into your trading, how much research you do on the market, what hours of the day that you trade, how well you execute your trading plan. And so by shifting your goals, when I shifted my goals from, instead of trying to make X% a month, I shifted it to saying, I'm gonna execute my trading plan just flawlessly this week, or I'm only gonna trade between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. And these were all within my control. And so I knew that if I had a large enough sample size, if I took enough trades, that over time, if I executed my trading plan well, I would be profitable, and made a massive difference for me. Lastly, something that helped me tremendously when I received my funded account was deciding to go with quality trades rather than quantity. And this made a massive difference for me. If I was looking at a setup and I was considering taking it, I would ask myself, if this was a losing trade, or if I even blew my funded account because I took this trade, could I live with it? If the answer was yes, I knew in my head that, oh, losses happen, it's part of trading and I can live with it because it was a great setup. But if the answer was no, I knew immediately that I shouldn't be taking the trade. trade because it just wasn't strong enough. It wasn't an A+ setup, and so I just walked away. And this was a super simple but incredibly effective filter that helped me determine whether I should be taking trades or not, and it actually improved my win rate on my funded account because I was only taking the very best setups. Okay, lastly, as promised, I want to share with you some insider numbers from Lark Funding to share with you guys how many traders are actually passing the challenge, how many are actually getting funded. So we combine every single challenge that we offer together, both the 1 stage and 2 stage, and the overall pass rate was 15.7%. That means out of 100 traders, roughly 16 traders are going to pass the evaluation and receive a funded account. Now the question is, it's great to receive a funded account, but how many traders are actually going to receive a payout? Well, we looked at the numbers again, and roughly 50% of those traders are receiving a payout. So just around 7 to 8% of traders that take an evaluation are actually going to go on and receive a payout, which means that if you want to enter the 10%, you have to do the opposite of what 90% of traders are doing. And to end this video with a little bit of motivation, for the last 3 months, the largest payout that we have had was a $6,500 payout on a $50,000 account, a $6,500 payout from a $325 investment. So use that for a little bit of motivation. You don't need to have the largest account size to make the most money. Thank you guys for watching. That is the reality of trading a funded Forex account. See you in the next one. And until then, peace.